Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Pat Council. Pat is a public speaker, entrepreneur, sales and business coach, author, and a podcaster. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Pat Council. Pat, welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
Excellent. How about you? And
Everything's-
let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with? That inspired you to do what you do today.
Okay, well, I was where I am today, which is in Jacksonville, Florida, and what happened was the economy tanked. I was doing really well. I owned a real estate company, and we were just breaking records. And then the economy tanked, the real estate market changed, and so once that happened, then let's say things went on a downward spiral, and I was not prepared for that, to be honest. And so after that I got divorced, so all of that kind of happened at once. And I was sitting at home and I was thinking to myself, wow, how did I get in this situation? How did I let this happen with all of the money that I made? And I had some monies left, so I had to figure out what I was going to do with the money, and how was I going to make that grow so I could continue to pay my bills. And I thought about it, and what came to me was, okay, you got in this situation because you didn't take the time to design your life. So I started to think, wow, I'm going to do, well, a podcast. And at the time I said a radio show. I didn't even know about podcasting. So I decided to do that. And I said, that way I can talk about it. And actually, let me back up a little bit. I started to write things down, and then it hit me. Other people are going through the exact same thing. So why don't you just talk about it and you guys just grow together? So that's how I started doing what I was doing. I was actually not monetizing it, and eventually I needed to start monetizing it. And people started asking me questions. So everything just kind of it took a life of its own.
What are the top three mistakes to avoid?
Top three mistakes to avoid. I think when it comes to the top three states mistakes to avoid, and let's say even in business or life, and is one, poor money management. So you really need to pay attention to your money, what you're doing with it. I had never made the kind of money I was making in real estate before, so I thought that funnel was just going to flow forever, and did not think that through. So poor money management. The other one is being complacent, not scaling up. Think that you've arrived, think that you are there. No, you need to constantly grow, learn something new, and keep growing. That brings me to the third thing to avoid is uh, refusing to learn something new. Sometimes we're so let's say we become complacent. We think, wow, my life is perfect, everything's fine, and we don't want to learn anything new. Now, there's a difference between, I think, let's say learning something new or keeping yourself so busy until you can't think. But take the time to learn something new. So those three things.
What are your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Well, my greatest failure story is the one I just told a moment ago, which is when the economy tanked. I wasn't prepared financially. I my forte was real estate investing, so I did have some investment properties. I had a good investment portfolio. However, I had to sell those properties so I could become more liquid. So one of the things I learned is, first of all, I don't care what's going on, stay liquid. And secondly, um, the other thing that I learned is to really pay attention to my life. At that time, I was riding high, and now I'm more judicious with my time. I'm more judicious with who I spend my time with. Okay. And I pay more attention to, let's say, the things that matter to me and to my loved ones.
What are your top three success secrets others can model from?
Top three success secrets. Number one, read. That's one. I think, information, it will expand your mind. And I would say that, in the previous question, how did I recover from what happened to me? I am an avid reader. So I just soak up knowledge. So I would say, read, number two, listen, learn, and then decide on a course of action, because there's so many courses out there. There's so much information out there. And there are people who take information in, I mean, suck it up like they're a sponge. However, they don't act on anything that they've learned. The other success secret, I would say, invest in yourself, no matter what. A lot of times I see people who want to grow, they want to have more, and I'm always, and I hear them say, "Well, how can I get a bargain, or how can I get this for free?" And I'm thinking to myself, so let me get this straight. You want to earn more money, you want to have a better life, but you want someone to give it to you free. So you want to make money, but you don't want anybody else to thrive. So that's not going to make you successful. Okay, so that
You are
might be a
welcome.
little blunt, but
Because you are a coach, so you are welcome to add a bonus if you like to. Any success secrets?
do I have any other success secrets? Okay, those were my top three success secrets. But I would say spend quiet time. Every morning, when I get up, that's what I do. That's part of my routine. I spend, quiet time, and I meditate and I listen and I reflect on yesterday to see what can I do better today. And
Mhm.
once I make that decision, I write things down. I People say journal, journal, and there are people who journal about all of the drama in their life. No, I journal, but I journal about the successes in my life. I reflect on things that I could have done better, and I journal the solutions. And then I decide, okay, this I'm going to act on today.
Mhm. We are about to enter into a lightning round. That means quick question and quick answer. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
What are you grateful for today?
Life, life, and the ability to get up and just help someone.
Hmm. How young are you?
59, excited about it.
Pat, you are not 59. You are 18 years old with 41 years experience.
I'll take it. You're right.
What you want to do when you grow up?
Let's see. Well, when I grew up, you know what? I want to keep living life, having fun, being excited about getting up in the morning. And I want to help as many people as I possibly can. I want them to achieve their goals and get to where it is they want to be.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
Cry and get under the bed? No, I'm kidding. I don't do that. No, I actually overcome challenges. I take a moment to assess what went wrong. I have a friend, and one of the things she said to me was that she says, "You know what I like about you?" She says, "When things just go wrong, and she says you don't get excited, you don't panic." She said, "You say let's stop and think," and that's what I do. I stop, I assess the situation, and then I come up with a strategy as to wait a minute. Okay, I know how I got myself into this thing. So let's come up with a strategy. Let's figure out how to get ourselves out. So I come up with a strategy, and then, well, I act on it. I move, always move.
How do you start your day?
I have a daily routine that I do, I'm going to say almost without fail, because maybe a few times out of the year I might miss it. But for the most part, I have a daily routine. I wake up, um, I pray, I meditate, I read a favorite scripture. I review my schedule for the day because I write my schedule out the day before. So I review my schedule of that for that day and see if I want to make any changes. Exercise and eat breakfast, get dressed, and make the day happen.
What is the advice you will give to younger yourself?
The advice I would give to my younger self is don't hold back. You know, do not waste one moment. Be yourself. You don't have to please anyone else. Let your confidence come forward and let the chips fall where they may. If people like it, fine. If they don't, well, hey, these things happen, but be you no matter what. Do life with power. Just step out there and go for it.
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
Okay, that's a good question. All right, once I have a revenue generating idea, first of all, I map the idea out because I'm a person who I like to come up with my strategy first. The whole blueprint as far as I can take that blueprint. Sometimes you don't know all the answers, but I do it as far as I can. And to be quite honest, um, I kind of started on my own first a little bit because just in case when I share it, that person says, if they say, oh, it'll never work, or this seems like a waste of money, then I kind of have some evidence that no, look, and then they don't have anywhere to go. So they might be a little bit upset that I started without them, but the reality of it is you don't have to tell your significant other everything that you do in your business. Just like if they work a job, I don't know how that works, but I know most people don't come home and say, "Listen, let me take 4 hours and tell you, second by second, everything I did today." And so my business is the same. I don't have to tell them everything that I'm doing, but I think when people can see the results in something, I think they'll get behind you.
What is the impactful book you have read and what did you learn from it?
Well, I have several. Science of Mind that had an impact on me.
Show me the cover,
The
please. Show me
Okay,
the
show
cover.
the book. Okay, that's the one with no.
Just do one which has a cover.
Okay, because I have several.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, I would say one is the
Show show the
workbook for
show the
self.
show the yeah show the
There we
okay.
go. The workbook for self mastery. John Randolph Price, and I have bought every book that I can find that he's written. And I read this one first. And you may, I don't know if you can see the little marks that he's, yeah. And I still read this book. I pick it up every so often. I'm going to say at least once or twice a year. And I go through this book. It's amazing. Easy read, fun read, but it's super enlightening.
What did you learn from it?
Well, I learned. Well, of course, it's called the Workbook for Self Mastery, but I learned which areas of my life I really should put my attention on. What to truly focus on so that I can get to where I want to be. Um, and it helps you kind of feel more confident and bring your confidence out
Why being impactful is important to you?
because I think that's why we're all here. And I often tell people, listen, impact is not about if you're a gazillionaire. Okay, that's probably not a real number, but let's go with that. So it's not about that. It's not about how much money you have. It is about whose life have you improved or who have you helped today. And it's all a matter of perspective. I say, you know what? If a person house is on fire, they don't care that you're a movie star. They need a fire person to come and put that fire out. So being impactful to me is important because if I can look back and say, wow, I served the purpose for which I was put on this earth, yeah, I feel pretty good about myself. It meant I had the confidence and courage to step out and do what I was called to do.
Who is your mentor and what's the impact?
Okay, my mentor is okay, he's 80 years young. So, my mentor, he's a real estate investor, and I can't say his name because he doesn't like his name mentioned. He doesn't like publicity. But I will say, when I knew nothing about earning money, he taught me. I worked with him. I worked at his office, and he taught me a lot about wealth, about not just money, but about wealth. And he has a family. And to me, no human being is what we call perfect because we all kind of, fall a little short sometimes. But as far as a person who has what I call that whole life, he represents that to me. He has the family, he takes care of himself physically, the money, the business. And so I've learned a lot from him.
How can I give a credit to him on this show?
Okay, I'll say his name. He's gonna get me for this later, but that's okay. His name is George Barnes, and he owns a real estate company here in Jacksonville, Florida.
Wonderful. What do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for helping people achieve their goals, but to go beyond that, um, helping people understand that they're built by design to win, that they're not put here to fail, and it is important that they not fear being themselves, not allowing society to put you in a box. I think that's why we have a lot of challenges we have today because everybody thinks that everybody's supposed to be the same, think the same. So I want to be remembered for inspiring people to be authentic and be who they were designed to be.
Pat, I understand that you're author of multiple books. I'll give you the opportunity to actually talk about your one book and what someone will learn one at a time. Show that book and then talk about the impact, what they will get out of it. Go for it.
Okay. Well, I have one book that's right here handy. The others I'd have to get up and get
Yeah,
copies
you can
today.
get up and get. That's okay because this
Okay,
is
I can. Okay.
yeah yeah.
Okay.
Show me
Well,
one.
this is my latest book, which is high impact power goal setting, and it's a thin book. It's a workbook, and what I wanted to do was make goal setting a lot easier, but it also gives insight into how to achieve the goals. I find that a lot of times people don't actually achieve their goals because they set goals that are, let's say, that don't have that meaning behind them.
Yeah.
I want a new car, I want a bigger house, and those goals are fine, but there's more to you than that. In order to get to the car, the house, and all of the above, you have to set goals that inspire you to move forward, that inspire you to action. So the book is designed to help people set those types of goals and to get a better understanding of what it truly means to set a goal.
Okay, you can bring your other books too. Go for it.
Okay. I must have moved them somewhere. That's one. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know where the other ones are. But here's another one. This one was High Impact Power Principles, which I wrote this one first. And I wanted to show a book that I have called The Power. But for whatever reason, I've moved my books to another bookshelf. I have tons of books. But High Impact Power Principles, that one is an action guide also, and it's about achieving, it goes beyond just achieving goals. It allows people to tap into what it takes for them to achieve the goal. So I really uh, did it in workbook form, but I put very good information in it. For example, I talk about the tyrant because we encounter people in our lives and we say, "Oh, I don't like that person," but the book kind of gives you more insight into why are you connected to these people or what brought this person into your life. Because sometimes we take that, we see it as a negative, and while it might be, we allow that to take us down instead of using that kind of energy or using that to help us tap into the kind of energy we need to take us forward. So the book kind of goes a little bit, it goes deeper into this is what it really takes to achieve, not running away from everything that seems to be so called bad. Now, and the other books, well, they're on Amazon.com. Unfortunately, I don't have them
It's
handy.
okay. It's okay. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for this. And who is your ideal client?
My ideal client, okay, is actually they are, let's say, new entrepreneurs. I like or seasoned entrepreneurs who are transitioning. Okay, they're, in other words, they want to scale up to the next level. For whatever reason, they're stuck. They can't get beyond that point. And I've helped quite a few people. And I love working with new entrepreneurs because I remember when I was new and I knew absolutely nothing. And just really quickly, I remember looking for people who would help me. And the one person that actually ended up helping me, and I'll say his name, Mike Ferry. Mike Ferry, he taught real estate and he was a real estate coach. Okay, now, did I have to pay him? Yes, I had to pay him. But the point is, he didn't treat me like, oh, well, you're not ready for me. He didn't treat me like I was, let's say, less than. He gave me a hard time, but it was to make me better. And I loved it. That's why I'm mentioning his name. And when I say a hard time, he helped me face things about my decision to become successful. So, to answer your question, new entrepreneur or a seasoned entrepreneur that's transitioning and they are willing to do the work.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
How can we support you?
Well, there's a couple of things that you guys can do. Number one, go to my website, Designing Your Life Today. And because that's the name of my podcast, Designing Your Life Today. And you can go and listen to my podcast. And of course, I've been mentioning my latest book, High Impact Power Goal Setting. You got it's all on my homepage at designingyourlifetoday.com. And just go there and have fun. I have lots of things that can help people move forward. So visit the site.
Wonderful. We are about to wrap up. I'd like to have your few words about your today's guest experience on the show. Here is my question. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
Well, I would say I like the questions. I like the way the show flowed. I like that it moved along quickly, and the host was great and gracious. So I would say it's all in all great experience.
What would you say as a final word?
I would say as a final word to people or to just anyone that it would help on my show, whenever I end my show, I always say two things. I let people know to remember that you're built by design to win, and no matter what, to do life with power. We live in a time where people think that they have to play the victim. Nobody was born a victim. So just get out there and just go for it. I promise you, you will not fail. You will succeed. So do life with power.
Thank you so much, Pat, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.
Thank you.